All right, guys, this is Kelly from Hills Deals and Wills Mobile Home Investing Course, and we got a special guest, Mr. Ahmad Ingram. And you know what? I've been mistakenly saying to myself that you are the real estate trapper, but you're actually the mobile home trapper, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So Ahmad, would you introduce yourself to everybody?
I'm Ahmad Ingram, known as the Mobile Home Trapper. I reside in Houston, Texas area. Been doing mobile homes for since the end of 2019. Um, I've done it in a couple different markets at this point. I lived in Atlanta for a little minute. During COVID, I went back home to Chicago to be with family. So I was able to do it there for an extended period of time. And I've done Texas. So that's really about it. I enjoy it. It's been life changing to me. Um, and I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
So Ahmad, you have, as of today, tell everybody how many deals you have underneath your belt.
About 70 deals.
70 deals. Okay, that's amazing. And what time frame have you done those 70 deals?
Since the time I started at the end of 2019 to now. Um,
Okay.
So I mean, I took a little time off here and there. Like I haven't been doing it. Like this has been my only income, but there has been periods of time where I've, you know, took time off. Got a couple deals. You know, took my foot off the gas. But pretty much this is what I've been doing consistently the last couple of years.
Okay. And so you were working a regular job in 2019 and then you discovered mobile home
So,
investing, then you quit, or how did that work?
So before I got into mobile homes, I was just wholesaling regular land, just infill lots in the Houston, Texas area. So when I moved to Atlanta, that's when I discovered mobile homes. I moved to Atlanta at the end of 2019. I lived in Houston prior to moving to Atlanta. So I was already in the real estate space, just wasn't mobile homes related. It wasn't mobile home related.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. And so why, you were doing pretty good on the land deal, so why did you make the switch over to the mobile homes?
So honestly, it was just honestly life. Life happened. When I moved to Atlanta at the time, I wasn't still doing deals. I moved to Atlanta with a decent amount of money saved. Not in the best place mentally, to be completely transparent, and just blew through some money, a significant amount of money. I looked up and it was just like, I got to do something. And when I found mobile homes, I actually went to a meetup. There was a real estate meetup, and there was somebody at the meetup that was talking about mobile homes, and just kind of went down a rabbit trail. Just really went from there to YouTube, and from there, that's where I never really took anyone's course. Really, just YouTube University, and just trying, losing money. Um, overpaying for homes, dealing with parks. At this point, I really don't deal with parks at all. But when I first started, that was the only way I was getting any type of deal, was dealing with parks. So I mean, it's been a roller coaster, but I think I finally have found my lane in this space of what I um, like to do and what I'm also pretty proficient at doing.
Okay. And so what would you say your strategy is, and why aren't you dealing with the parks anymore?
So me personally at the time, I'm not saying all parks are like this, but at the time, most of the parks that I was dealing with were continuously changing ownership. So some park owners were obviously okay with the subleasing, some weren't. So when it got to just like going too much back and forth with parks, I just eventually said no. I don't even want to deal with it anymore. When I started to figure out that park owners actually needed infill homes, and every park owner don't buy brand new homes. When I found that out, I quickly changed my strategy to just starting to sell to park owners. So that's mainly what I do now. I buy most of my homes to people that are on private land. Probably a good 70% of my deals come from people that buy a large piece of land. The mobile home was left on the land from the previous owner. They see no value in it. They just want it gone. So I get a lot of homes really free. Um, Even if they're not free, they're close to free. So that's my main strategy is really buy the homes. I'll clean the home out. That's about the most I will do. I don't do any rehab. I'll power wash it. I might reseal the roof, maybe. Just kind of really depends on the situation. But the most I really do at this point now is power wash it, clean it out, and then relist it. If I don't sell it to a park owner, I'll just post it on Facebook and get it sold like that. Because the demand is here. I mean, at least in Texas, pretty much anywhere in Texas, if you got a mobile home that is halfway decent and it's decently priced, it can get sold in 15 days or less, I would say.
Wow. So your strategy is to find mobile homes for parks. You're infilling these parks, and you're not getting just a referral fee. You're actually getting money from a mobile home that you actually got for free. Correct? 9 times out of 10, you probably got it for free.
So not every time I am getting them for free, but there are times I do get them for free. So I get paid moving a mobile home because at this point now I have partnered with two mobile home movers that basically give me a referral whenever I send them business. A lot of the business is most of the time homes that I'm selling personally myself. And then I also get calls pretty frequently of people that need a home move that they're not selling. So it just got to the point where I felt like I was just leaving too much money on the table and I needed to find a reliable mover that was okay with paying out a referral if I was going to send him business. So that's kind of the three ways that I get paid on the deal, on the move, or I get paid when the park owner actually buys it from me.
All right. And so before you infill any mobile home into any park, you're gonna have to know what type of things are you gonna have to know about the mobile home that you're attempting to move to that park.
So most of these parks, depending on what county, at least in Texas, it has to be a certain year. Some parts of Texas, if it's anything older than a 1990, they don't want it. I have some areas in Texas, more like South Texas, where it can be a 1980 home and it's perfectly okay to go in the park as long as it's structurally sound to get moved. Um, as far as like the tongue and everything, that can get rebolted and rewelded back on. As long as it's structurally sound as far as underneath the actual structural components of the home, the major pieces of the home are not janky. I pretty much will move anything. I have moved over to homes that are 70 homes, but I don't prefer to do it. Every park owner has different things that they're looking for. Some want homes that are 2000 and newer. Some want homes that are 1990 and newer. Every park owner is literally different, but it does come a time where they are more picky than anything. And a lot of the homes that I do get are not going to fit their criteria. So my last strategy is, of course, just post it to Facebook, and someone's going to hit you up to, get it moved. There are a lot of people in Texas, at least, that are buying cheap homes, rehabbing them, and putting them back on the market. So there's always somebody that's looking for a cheap home, 15 grand and under, you know, to buy. And for me, I mean, honestly, a home run for me, if I can make 7 to 10 thousand on the deal, that's a home run for me. A lot of people say, "Hey, that's chump change," but I mean, it's in and out. I didn't spend any money on rehab. I do talk to people that do rehab, and their numbers just don't. It doesn't really sound too attractive to be working on a home 3 4 weeks to maybe profit 15,000, maybe 20,000. I'm okay with taking my 10 and I didn't, put any sweat equity in it.
Right. And I don't know who's telling you there's chump change because I don't sound like chump change to me for you to make that kind of dollar amount and you don't even own the home.
No,
That's really amazing.
no, for sure. Everybody is, their standards are different. I have friends that are in other markets like Florida. Just what they can sell their homes for are completely different than what I can ever sell a home for here. Um, so that's really when I say like it's chump change to some people, not really the people in my market, but when I do talk to people in other markets, especially on the West Coast, it's night and day for what they can sell a home for what we can sell a home for.
Exactly. So you know what, Ahmad, what I really like about you, I got on your Instagram page and I shared the video that you put up there. What I really like about you, and I could be wrong, but it seems like you're very compassionate about, people who actually live in these mobile homes because you were mentioning a young lady who's really getting screwed over by the park owner. Are you familiar with the video that I'm referring to? Uh, could you expand on
So
that a
yes,
little
that
bit?
was actually a park. Yeah, so that was a park in Macon, Georgia. That was at the time when I was living in Atlanta. It's about, I would say, probably 45 minutes, maybe 50 minutes away from like the inner city of Atlanta. And it was a recent storm that had happened. A tree had fell on the lady's house. The park wasn't trying to like repair anything. Sewage was messed up. They had septic issues, so of course that came with a crazy odor. You walked inside her house, and it's duct tape around the outlets, visible roaches. I mean, it was just a crazy bad situation. I opened up the her cabinet to see if I could see the data plate in the kitchen, and I can see the bottom of her trailer, like the axles that's underneath the trailer. It was literally, so of course she had all type of rodents coming directly in her house, and the park wasn't trying to do anything about it. Um, that was one of the last parks I actually, tried to do business with. But yeah, it was a crazy bad situation, and the home was too old to try to move. Of course, she just wanted to get out the situation, but she literally had nowhere to go. So yeah, the situation was just all around, bad. I ended up connecting her with someone else that had a home that she could rent by the room, and that's what she did until she, was able to get her things together. But I think she had two or three kids. It was a crazy situation. She was a single mom, and the park was just, it wasn't like in the middle of nowhere of Macon, because Macon is already like a country area, but wasn't really anything around. So there was no office actually at the park. So any complaints, there's nobody to really go complain to. Um, and it's crazy the way I found the park. One of the actual owners that owned the park contacted me because I had posted a banner sign right outside the park, and it was just all around bad situation. And most of the homes in the park were in even worse situation, and the parks were trying to get just crazy numbers for the homes. It was just like, you know, me personally, I think they should have been torn down. Knowing what I know now, I definitely would have mentioned to tear them down, but at the time I was pretty new in it. I had no experience of tearing anything down. Now that is something I do offer, and that just kind of happened by default. I kept getting people trying to sell me homes that was condemned, that weren't safe enough to move. So really, everything that I really have mentioned thus far have really come from a problem that I had. The partnering with movers came from just dealing with terrible movers, and then tearing the mobile homes down really just came from feeling like I'm losing money and losing opportunity because I can't move this particular home because of the condition. But at the end of the day, most of these people, their issue is they just need the home removed. They don't care what you do with it; they just need it gone. So that's that's really everything.
Right. But you know what, Ahmad? I heard your comment in one of the videos. You were doing a walkthrough, and you were saying, well, maybe I'll rent this mobile home. What are your thoughts about renting?
So me currently right now, that's what I want to start getting into. I'm tired of selling everything. I've been selling a lot. I mean, everything that I have had. I have done some stuff selling it on payments, but my experience with selling stuff on payments, people start to pay things in lump sums. And I've never sold a home that cost enough for people to really have to stretch something out a 5, 6 year term or even longer. Um, so yeah, that is something that I want to get into. Looking to start to purchase some land this upcoming year and start to get into actually renting the homes. Looking to more rent by the room. That's the strategy that I'm looking to exercise personally myself. But right now, I currently don't have any rentals.
I got you. So Ahmad, would it be safe to say you don't have any properties right now you buy and hold, or do you?
So no, right now everything is just pretty much just in and out flipping. I would like to get into buying and holding. Um, looking to purchase some land this year, but to do that, because me personally, I don't want to deal with parks. I would like to own the land that my home is on. Um, so yeah, that's kind of the direction that I am going. But I am looking to exercise that strategy.
Okay. So Ahmad, so why now the switch after you've done like 70 deals? What's causing you to switch?
So I mean, mainly I got to work for these deals. Like I really bust my butt for these deals. Like I still put out my signs myself. I still go on my appointments. And of course, if I have rentals, that's some money that's going to come in regardless, as long as the people are paying their rent. Um, so I want to start to get into some actual, I don't even want to say passive money, but get some residual money coming in every month that is coming from a tenant. Because right now, like I said, I have to physically work to get money. And I don't mind that because I truly enjoy it, but I just want to diversify my things right now.
Right, right. Because the way you're doing things, if you had a job previously, you done pretty much replaced that job with the previous job, right? Even though you love what you're doing, that's in all actuality, that's what kind of happened. Would you agree or not?
Yeah, no, it's just like I heard someone say not too long ago. Wholesaling is nothing but it's another high paying job.
Right.
It truly is. I mean, you know, because at the end of the day, it's not manual labor, but it's still time and work that you're putting in to curate these deals. So I would definitely say that it's definitely another job. Um, but it definitely is a little different when you actually enjoy it. It's something new every day. You meet some really, really, really interesting people. Um, so yeah, I wouldn't trade it for anything right now. I really enjoy it, and yeah. So
Good
if
for
this is
you.
anything like, say that again.
I said good for you. Yeah.
Yeah. So if this was a job, I mean, I've never worked. I guess it's a win.
Hmm. So Ahmad, how are you going about finding these deals and talking to the park managers and stuff? How are you going about doing that?
So as far as finding deals, most of my stuff comes from abandoned signs, and whatever don't come from abandoned signs, it's coming from dealers. A lot of dealers don't take trade-ins. A lot of dealers don't take trade-ins. Most just sell new homes. You will have some that will take a trade-in, and I'm not saying all of them will call me, but I have a couple that I do speak with, and I'll shoot them a referral if they send me someone that sells a home to me. Um, Most of the time, most people that live in a mobile home, from what I've seen personally, the last couple of years, this is not their first mobile home, especially if they're going to a dealership to buy a brand new one. This is not their first rodeo, so they most have another mobile home on their property and maybe two. And at the end of the day, whether they're about to break ground on a regular single family stick built home or they're going to do another mobile home, most of the time they need that pad clear. And those are like the two main ways I would say I get my deals, bandit signs, and from other brokers or dealers.
Okay. So, Ahmad, let me get a clear understanding.
Because
So,
at the end of
uh,
the day,
mm, go ahead.
okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was saying because at the end of the day, most of these dealers, they're working on commission just like a regular car salesman or a regular real agent. If you can potentially put $1,500, $2,000 in their pocket for referring you to someone that wants to sell a home, it's a win-win for them, especially if they were going to do with the deal anyway.
Right.
Can you hear me
And
now?
so, yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. And so, how are you going about closing these deals? What type of paperwork do you need to do something like this?
So I get a bill of sale notarized, sign the back of the title. That's all I use. I go to the local bank. So I don't have to pay for the actual notary, and you know, sign the back of the title, sign the back of the bill of sale, and do the transaction. When I do, get paid cash, I usually have the uh, buyer, running through the machine right there, then and there. So of course we can check for any counterfeit or anything like that. And that's usually how my transactions go. I will not meet at like any public place for the most part and count any money, do anything like that. Everything pretty much is done at a bank for me.
Okay. All right. And so, how do you go about checking for liens? You don't want to buy a mobile home and it got a bunch of liens on it because then you acquire that as well.
I Right. So in Texas, you can check for liens and anything like that on the website. As long as you have the serial number, the HUD number, um, as long as you have the serial number and the HUD number, you can pretty much look any home up. That's if it has been ever registered in the state of Texas.
Okay.
So I
All right.
honestly try to stay away from any home. If they call me and there's no sign of the data, like the data plate, um, because a lot of times the data plate, the sticker will just come off, and I've had people take the sticker and go put it with the rest of the paperwork with the title and everything. If there's no proof of the data plate, most of the time I won't buy it unless it's something that is, I mean, it has to be completely dirt cheap for me to buy it if it don't have a title. I have had people buy stuff from me that have just a bill of sale, but I try not to because you can't really verify, without that HUD number, the serial number. You can't really check the history of this home, But a lot of these people that I get them from, they're coming off people farms, and sometimes they'll have the original bill of sale that they bought when they bought it, and that might have been 20 years ago. So I try to stay away from things like that, but that's usually how we do things here. You can look it up online.
So, would it be safe to say if somebody just had a bill of sales, you just walk away from that deal, or what?
Um, yes, it's a case by case. Yes and no. Kind of really depends on what the home really looks like. The only people that park owners, they don't really care because they'll go do the title work. Of course, they're going to put that into their fee that they're offering. They're going to probably try to completely lowball me because they don't have a title. But park owners will buy it if they want it. Preferably if it's a double wide. Cheap double wides are very hard to find. um, and it don't need a crazy amount of work, and it's coming with the bill of sale, they will do the title work. So it's really a case by case. If I know I can get it off to especially a park owner, I'll definitely buy it.
Okay. All right.
So most of the time, it's not even really me wholesaling it because, like I said, I'm buying them so cheap. Most of the stuff I'm buying is under 5,000. So, and because I want possession of the title. So most of the time, I'm not wholesaling it. I'll just actually put my own money down for it. But I really don't mind it because I'm not risking that much money.
Right. So sometimes you would actually buy the mobile home to get rid of the seller and then go ahead and find the new buyer. Is that your strategy?
Yeah, just to exactly just yes, just to get rid of the seller, and to get possession of the title. Just really kind of depends on who it is, what the rapport is like with the seller. If I feel like I really need to get possession of that title, or if I'm going to move the home off of the property earlier, I definitely need that title. Most of the time, the home stays there until the new buyer moves it down.
Okay. All right. And so, Ahmad, what are your thoughts concerning somebody who's new in this business and they're trying to move a mobile home, their first couple of tries? What are your thoughts?
Um, Honestly, so when I first started, everyone told me don't mess with homes that have to get moved. I'm kind of hard headed. I did completely opposite of that. And that's really how I got started moving them because most of the deals that I was starting to get were homes that needed to be moved. So if you have the resources to move one, do it. Um, the reason why I say do it because you don't have to spend any money of your own money. Just find someone that is willing and understands the responsibilities of what goes into moving one. Most of these people on Facebook, at least in my market, that buy them, this is not their first home that they're buying. They have a mover most likely. So, I mean, your problem is already solved. If you have possession of the title, market it to your buyers, and if someone bites on it, you could just let them know. Of course, it has to get moved. That's just mandatory in any ad that I ever post. Any home that I ever post, 9 times out of 10, it has to get moved. There's nothing that I There's no transaction that I do that I'm not moving the home. Either I'm moving it myself or the new buyer is going to move it. So honestly, I say if you're starting to get leads, that stuff that have to get moved, get uncomfortable and just honestly do it. You can't really keep running from it. Um, if you don't want to put your own money at risk, of course, just find someone that is willing to buy it and they understand the responsibility of moving it. Anybody that have bought a mobile home understand that at least in my market, to move a mobile home at least 50 miles from the destination of where it's going from, it's a single wide is about 5 grand, and double wides are of course double that. You might get someone that might do it for 8,500, 9 grand, but most double wides are going to be 10,000, and that's going at least 50 miles to set up, level, block it, and all of that. So instead of worrying about any of that, your first couple deals, just find someone that understands that. For me, I understood that park owners understood that. So for me, that was my first buyer when I actually first started, getting leads at things that have to get moved. Um, I understood that. I mean, I don't have a truck. I don't have that at the time. I didn't have the money to move a home. So it was just like, okay, are you going to walk away from the deal? Or are you going to just find somebody that can, complete the deal? And that's really your only missing piece is the toter. You need somebody that either has a toter that is the buyer or he knows someone with one. And me personally here, most of my buyers, even when I get new buyers that are rehabbing homes here, they have someone very close to them that have a toter. So it's usually not an issue getting it moved. It
Okay.
always just comes down to, do you want to pay that price though? That's what it comes down to. There's always a mover available, but do you want to pay the price that they're asking for? 9 times out of 10, it's a crazy price, especially if you're a new person, you've never moved with them before. They're going to try to get you over the head until you
Okay.
start coming to them repeatedly business.
Okay. So Ahmad, you go and you look at these homes. How do you determine? Okay, yeah, $5,000 is good for this home, or $10,000 is good for this home. What do you use? What kind of tool do you use to gauge that you are getting a fair deal?
So honestly, I'm always going into every deal trying to get it the absolute lowest. I'm the low baller. If they ask me 10,000, if the offer that I'm about to say don't make me uncomfortable, it's not low enough in my book. Um, and I also just really try to gauge the seriousness of them wanting to sell it. A lot of people will call and I'm just trying to see what I can get for. Though they're never really the serious people of trying to get the home sold. So I try to really stay away from them type of people. But as far as gauging, I just use Facebook. I look at Facebook. I actually go to Facebook Marketplace, update my location, new location. I'm about to buy a home, and I see what other homes are selling for, whether it's a double wide or a single wide. Other homes, 1990, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, are selling for this. I know what I need to, my offer needs to be at. Nevertheless, I'm always trying to get the lowest possible. Um, and if somebody tell me they want 10 gone and they don't have a means to move this home, my offer gonna be less than $2,000. And I start as low as possible first because either it's two things. Either they're gonna tell me to dismiss myself, or they're gonna say, okay, I'll counter to this. And most of the time when they counter, it's not a crazy amount from where I'm at. They might just want maybe $500 or $600. Worst case scenario, maybe $1,000 more. But I'm not never paying anything close to asking. But Facebook is a I kind of use it as a reference, but I'm always going into every deal is just they need this house going. I just treat it as what's the lowest that I can get it.
Ahmad, what are the biggest challenges that you've had since you've been in the mobile home business?
Um, Movers, hands down, movers. Finding reliable movers that are not trying to, screw you over as far as taking deposits. You send customers to him. He, damaging personal property on the actual property, because most of the stuff that I'm moving, like I said, is off of personal property. It's on private property, so they might have an ATV or just anything laying around that you might not see in the park, and you have to be mindful of moving these homes on people personal property. um because like I said, if you damage anything, you're responsible for that. They're going to look at me, and they're going to look at the mover. So there's been a couple situations that I personally had where early on movers that I were dealing with was just completely bad business. Um, don't even want to give you invoices, showing up late, not answering the phone, but they want to charge for everything, extra axles, want to charge you for every extra tire that blows. Um, so really, I would say movers have been my biggest challenge thus far, hands down.
Okay. And so, Ahmad, what has been your biggest return on your investment? Because, like you said, you on occasion use your own money to buy these homes to get rid of the
hmm
seller. What has been your biggest return on your investment?
So my biggest return, I bought a home for $1,000 and I sold it for 16,000. That's been my biggest return. I
Wow.
have a home right now that a 1995 Fleetwood that I'm selling right now. It's a 16 by 76, and I bought it for $450, and I have it listed right now for 10,000. I don't think I'm gonna get 10, but I have someone going to look at it tomorrow morning, and they mentioned like 8,500. So those type of situations are pretty, I would say, normal. But I would say a $15,000 spread would be my biggest that I've ever done personally.
Wow. Well, so Ahmad, in the beginning, well, I could see where you're getting your capital from now because you've done like over 70 deals. But in the beginning, were things kind of tight for you as far as trying to buy the home and get rid of the seller to sell it back to somebody else? And if it was,
No, for
where
sure.
were you? Yeah, where were you getting the money? Did you use your own money or business credit cards, or how did you go about doing that?
So no, for sure. When I first started, I mainly was just wholesaling. Um, in the last, I would say 2 years, I actually started using some of my own money just because I saw how much and how freely and smooth the transaction was going when I actually had possession of the title. Um, so just using my own money. I've never used any credit cards, anything like that, but just taking money from other deals. I don't spend a lot of my money. And like I said, I'm getting the homes so cheap. So the thought of me having to put up maybe 3,500, maybe 4,000 to buy a home, worst case scenario, 5,000 is not the end of the world.
And Ahmad, because you on occasion have to deal with the park manager and the park owners to infill these mobile homes. How does that conversation go? You know.
So most of the park owners that I find, I'm finding them on LinkedIn, Facebook, social media. Um, Most of our conversation is, "Oh my God, I need homes. I just bought this park. This is what I can pay. Send me what you got." Um, the best way to contact me is either by phone or WhatsApp. I have a park owner I speak to on Slack, but it's pretty straightforward. You send him a home, he tell you yes or no. If it's a yes, he's gonna send, of course, he's gonna tell you to send the purchase agreement and everything over. And if it's local enough, he'll send his maintenance man to come check out the home or his mover. And then you go the guys that don't wire the money over, a lot of the times I will, if it's close enough, if it's about an hour, maybe 2 hour difference of Houston, I will pull up. And that's how I'll get my money. I also just use it as a chance to go put more bandit signs out. Um, but there's not many times that I'm actually pulling up to the transaction. Between the maintenance man and the movers, they're doing most of the legwork for the park owner. And our communication is very, very vague. Um, Conversations are very quick if we do get on the phone. Everything, like I said, is between either WhatsApp, text message, or Slack.
Mhm. And so, Ahmad, when you are allowing the maintenance man to come look at the home, of course, you're giving up the location of the home. 9 times out of 10, you already own that home, or the seller owns the home. Because aren't you afraid that they might try to cut you out the deal if you give them the location?
So no, not really. Maybe I trust people too much, but when I've done a couple deals with you, um, I pretty much know that that's not something that's going to happen. Um, and that's also another reason that I do buy the homes now. But even when I was wholesaling them, that was never honestly really a thought. Um, I more think about when I send somebody to go look at the home, them stealing the home. So that's more of a thought that comes to my mind. Them literally, because this is not like a regular home where like they have the equipment, they can literally steal this home. And most of the places I'm at are deserted areas. not nobody around, they would be clean out and nobody would know. So that's really what I would say my biggest concern is. But as far as them going around me, I build pretty good rapport with all parties, so that's not something I really worry about. No.
You know what, I never really thought about that. If it's way out in the boondocks, they probably could take off with the home, but that's not going to happen. If you're in the inner city, you're dealing with a bigger park, because you
Exactly.
need permit. You need
Yeah.
permits to take that thing down the road. But I've never really thought about that. That's something to think about. That's something to think about. So, Ahmad,
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
you
So,
ever interested in joint ventures with anybody or anything like that?
for sure. Definitely. I'm right now. I'm looking for homes on land. That's where I want to slowly, like I said, pivot to acquiring homes on land. So if someone has anything like that, I'm definitely open. I'm looking for stuff that the individual that might be selling it might be open to some seller financing. Um, that's mainly where I'm open to right now. As far as like complete joint ventures, if somebody have a home that they might need, moved. If it's anywhere in Texas, Louisiana, I can get it moved for you. I can get it set up. I can get it leveled. Um, that's
Hmm.
really about it. I'm always looking to work with other people. If you need help get a home off, we can potentially help each other. If I have a home that is still sitting that I haven't sold and you have a buyer, I have no problem paying referral fees or going 50-50, whatever you guys want to do. I'm pretty open. It's enough money out here for everybody. So yeah.
Okay. So, Ahmad, you've been doing this since 2019. Are you licensed to buy and sell mobile homes?
No, I actually am not. That is something that I will be taking care of very, very soon. Getting my actual broker's license. Because getting a lot is something that I would like to do. Um, I have seen how easy it will be, how much easier it will be to show homes if I have a lot. Um, so getting licensed is something that is definitely on the agenda for this next upcoming year. But right now, no, I am not licensed.
Okay. All right. I just wanted everybody to know that you don't need to be licensed to do what you're doing. You've been doing this
Yeah,
for
no,
since 2019. You're living proof that you don't need a license to do this. So, Ahmad, where do
no,
you see yourself?
like you, and I've been able to do it in three different markets at this point. Like as long as you got some hustle, you're not lazy, you willing to get up, get out, talk to people. Um, I have flyers in my car all the time. I have banner signs in my car all the time. There's not a place that anybody car that I get in frequently, if I'm not driving, I literally have flyers in that car. Because you never know where you might be. You might be in a new area, you might see something, might see a home. It doesn't hurt to throw a flyer in the mailbox, especially if you can tell that the mail has been getting picked up, so you just never know. And you can do it anywhere. Like I said, I've done it in Atlanta. I lived in Atlanta. I've done it here in Texas. I'm also in Louisiana. Well, I do Lake Charles just because it's right across the state lines on the other side of Beaumont. For people that are familiar with Texas, it's it's super close. I mean, we're talking under 2 hours. So yeah, I'm pretty much willing to drive the opportunity. I do deals in the Corpus Christi area, San Antonio area, with anything within 2 hours of Houston in any direction.
So, Ahmad, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? In the mobile home business. I know you said you wanted to own your own land, but can you expand on that a little bit?
So, 5 years from now, I would like to be a full service mobile home company, manufacturing home company, moving them. We sell homes, of course, owner finance homes to individuals. But I would like to get to the point where I'm still selling individual homes, but we're selling basically lot packages, moving homes to land, selling them as an actual package. The demand is crazy. I get so many phone calls of people that don't have land and they want to buy a mobile home with land. And I'm not talking 20, 30 acres, 40 acres. Some of these people just want a half an acre. Some of these people just want 2 acres. So it's opportunity there. Anytime I see opportunity, if I can pivot, if I can, tweak anything in my business to accommodate what I see, I'm gonna do it. And I just that's my long term plan in this is just be a full service company that can move them, that can sell them, we can finance them, and yeah,
Okay. Because a lot of people don't understand, Ahmad. You could take an older model mobile home and put it on land, like you said, it could be a half an acre. It could be worth $10,000 before you move it, and once you get it to this destination, I mean, the sky is the limit. When you have that land package with that mobile home, people don't
for
even
sure.
understand that's just such a gold mine.
And I mean, so many people. The demand is crazy, at least here in Texas. And I'm not even just talking about the Houston area or even 2 hours within Houston. Literally everywhere from West Texas to East Texas to South Texas, the demand is crazy for people that want mobile homes, and they don't necessarily want something brand new. Everybody can't go to the local Clayton because there are some Clayton um, or just other, small time mom and pop mobile home dealerships that offer land packages. But in certain areas like Austin, a land package on 1 acres, 350. 375. There's areas in Austin right now that are going for almost 400K, a mobile home double wide sitting on an acre lot. But that's the area of Austin. Just not even an hour outside of Houston, there's a subdivision that's getting built right now, and they're putting 3,000 mobile homes on 1 acre lots. The developer, he's a developer in that county, and he has like 6 projects of that going on. Yeah, about an hour for Houston, and
Wow.
but he's bringing affordable housing to that area. The average home in that area is about 500 grand to 600,000. It's a great school district, but this is bringing affordable housing to that area, especially for the people that might want more yard space. Most of these houses they're selling in these various neighborhoods, they're not even on a 12,000 square foot lot, let alone a half an acre. So, um, yeah, I think it's just so much opportunity in it. You don't have to. When I first started, I initially thought I was going to build up to own parks. Me personally, that's not something that I strive to do. Owning a park is not anywhere in the sight for me. Um, I would like to just do individual land deals, move the homes. I'm just seeing the um, opportunity in that as well. A lot of people don't even realize or even recognize the opportunity in that space itself. And it's mostly ran by baby boomers. Most of the movers I meet are second, some third generation. And there's not anybody out here that's training on even how to start the companies. So, and mobile homes aren't going anywhere. They're going to be here. The cost of living is going to steady go up. Um, so yeah, that's a part of my 5 year plan.
Okay. All right. And so, Amar, what kind of advice could you give somebody who's thinking about getting into the mobile home business, a newbie? What advice do you have for somebody?
Honestly, just get started. Go to dirtcheapsigns.com and just get started. Like, don't sit there and make 1,000 excuses why you're not getting started. I ain't got time. I got a job. Just literally go to Dirt Cheap Signs. Um, you're gonna spend about under 220, maybe 250. You can get 100 signs. Put um, Mr. Smith buys mobile homes. Whatever your message you want to put on there, keep it simple. Make sure your number is pretty big. I use yellow signs personally. I don't use white signs, and I use red writing. Um, and go out and put them out. Um, I use zip ties, me personally, and I use screws. I drill them into different holes, depending on of course, if the pole is wooden or not. They're a lot harder to rip down. Staples are a lot easier to take out. So when I first started, I did use staples. When I first started, I actually used nails, but it was messing my shoulders up. Just imagine trying to put out 100 signs using nails. Very time consuming also. So drilling them in, what I would say probably is the fastest. They'll stay up the longest. I have seen my signs stay up, especially out in the country, a year and some change, because they don't have a band and sign crew going up picking these signs up like they do in the inner city, city limits of Houston. So like wholesalers, for example, in any inner city of Houston, they signs don't stay up for more than 3 days because they literally have a city truck that rides around and pick them up. They don't have that in the country. So if you put your signs up and you put them up good, they're going to stay up. The red, I say red just because it's good to the eye. Yellow is just it pops a little more than white signs to me personally. And just get started. Wait till the phone ring. The phone's going to ring. I promise. If you put out 100 signs in the area, saturate one area with 100 signs. I promise your phone's going to ring. It's literally impossible. Your phone's going to ring. If you put out 20 signs and say it's not working, of course it's not working because you put out 20 signs. But if you put out at least 100 signs, that's going to cost you 200 and something bucks. Um, I tell anybody this, you gonna spend it on a pair of shoes, makeup, whatever your vice might be, you're gonna spend it. So just go ahead and just get started. That's my best advice to anybody. Whatever your situation might be, just get started. Don't think you gotta know everything. You gotta watch 100,000 hours of YouTube videos or take 10 people course. Most of the stuff that I have learned has been from me doing it. And that's my best advice. I'm no expert in it. Um, I've just been doing it for a decent amount of time at this point. And yeah, eventually, you're going to have enough time in to the point where, you can look at a home and see what you're going to, offer on a home without even going to look at the home once you've looked at enough homes, once you walked enough homes. So that's my advice to anybody just starting.
That's good advice. So, Ahmad, well, first of all, I greatly appreciate you getting on here, taking time out of your busy schedule. So, how could somebody reach out to you? Like I said, you are the mobile home trapper on Instagram. Are there any other ways that somebody could get in contact with you if they want to do a JV or whatever the case may be?
So I'm active on pretty much all social medias. I would say I'm most active on Twitter. You can hit me up on Facebook. I check my Facebook pretty often. Um, Name on Facebook, Ahmad Ingram on Facebook, Mobile Home Trapper on Instagram, and then Twitter is BD underscore mogul, MOGUL on Twitter. And I'm not really on TikTok, but that's all my social media handles. I'm open to working with just about anybody. If you got any questions, you can hit me up. If I can't call you, I will text you back, but I will answer pretty much, any question that anybody got. If I can help anybody get started, let's get going.
All right. All right, there we have it, Mr. Ahmad Ingram, the mobile home trapper. Thank you so much, Ahmad. And we'll keep in
Thank you.
touch, that's for sure. Thank you so much.